So an investigation by Pablo Torre.
Yo, this Kawhi Leonard scandal is crazy.
Clippers illegally paid Kawhi Leonard $28 million to play for them. It looks like the Clips went around the salary cap because their owner is the richest dude in sports. I mean,
I don't think you guys realize how big of a deal this is. The Boston Celtics literally traded for Zingis and Drew Holiday away because they're over the second apron. But the Clippers paid Kawhi under the table.
what's the point of having $150 billion if I can't even spend it? Gotta play by the rules? Well, they may have found a way to get around that. But if this is all true, then the Clippers...
I remember this. Gilbert Arenas a couple months ago called it.
Borrow some money. What do white people do? Borrow some shit. Hey, let me borrow like $10 billion real quick. I need to pay some of these people under the table. Like, are y'all not trying to be real owners?
Bro, I remember this like months ago.
What that calorie said. I don't care what it says. I am cheating. I got too much money to be on the same playing field with you broke ass. We're not in the same conference, sir. Right? You want 50 million? I'm gonna give you 45 on it. I'm gonna give you 5 on the books because I gotta afford somebody else.
48.
45 under the table. Behind the
48
scenes,
million for Kawhi.
You got a foundation? I got that. You got business deals? I got that. You want a percentage in what? I got that. Just go ahead and sign that. You too? How the all these people keep getting here? This motherfucker got the USA basketball team and his 2 of these motherfuckers own buildings downtown. How? There's gonna be investigations after investigations. Yeah. It's not like the
NBA
NBA
called
wanna
it.
catch me
He
anyway.
called it.
They work for me. Huh? Adam Silver, what you want? What you want? I think this investigation says you ain't found. You want a building too? Here's a check says you ain't found. What you talking about?
Bro, I don't think you guys realize how rich Steve Ballmer is. Combine all the other 29 NBA owners together, and they're still not as rich as Steve Ballmer.
Would be screwed. I mean, the last time that something like this happened was 1999.
5 first-round picks.
When the Timberwolves
Joe
paid
Smith.
a player under the table. When the NBA found out, they took away 5 first-round draft picks and voided that player's contract. That means the NBA could investigate the Clips and be like, oh yeah, Kawhi, you're not on the Clippers anymore, buddy. That means Kawhi could suddenly play for any other team in the NBA in the next few months.
That's not gonna happen. There's no way it happens. If anything, they're just gonna ban him outright for like a year if he's found guilty of this.
That would change the entire season. And they take away...
Because he's not some little kid, you know? People are saying like, oh, Kawhi's so innocent. It's all Uncle Dennis. Bro, Kawhi's 34 years old. Bro, he's not ignorant of what's going on. He's the one who signed it.
For the Wolves in 99, this crushed any hope of them being competitive, and it wasted Kevin Garnett's prime. But what the Clippers may have done is even worse. Can you imagine if the NBA basically announces the death penalty here? And what would that look like? Well, it turns out the new CBA just rewrote the punishment for breaking salary cap rules like this.
4.5
we'll
million.
break it down, but you have to
million.
watch this investigation by Pablo Torre. Link in the description. But I will summarize what he found because it's insane. So there was a climate change company called Aspiration that turned out to be a huge fake, okay? Their co-founder was arrested for lying to investors, defrauding them for hundreds of millions of dollars. One employee says that they claim to plant trees for the environment, but they never actually checked to see if any of those trees were real. Oh, but they did pay a lot of celebrities to endorse them, like Drake and Robert Downey Jr., but their biggest contract was for Kawhi Leonard.
Who did nothing for them.
$28 million to endorse Aspiration.
48 million.
Zero evidence that Kawhi has ever mentioned them at all. Like, not even a tweet or a like. Oh wait, there is this one tweet from the Clippers wishing Kawhi happy birthday, brought to you by @Aspiration. But if you click on it, it brings you to this page with 38 followers. What's going on? But he still gets that $28 million check for endorsing. Why? Well, you might remember in 2019 when Kawhi was a free agent, his uncle Dennis was heavily involved.
This was so shady. It was so shady back then.
Teams reported that Dennis...
He wanted everything. He wanted everything. I remember this. NBA investigated Kawhi Leonard's uncle, Dennis Robertson, for asking for impersonal benefits. Bro, look at this. Look at this. Bro, he has a Genie Bus as well. But then, yeah, Genie Bus and Lakers weren't going to give Kawhi that.
Dennis demanded part ownership of the team, a private plane that would be available at all times, a house, and a guaranteed amount of off-court endorsement money that they could expect if Leonard played for their team. Oh, really? And when Kawhi signed with the Clips, other teams were like, the Clippers? I guarantee Steve Ballmer met some of those demands. But the NBA investigated and found no evidence
Yeah, I feel like this deal was part of the package for the 2019 deal. Because if Steve Ballmer gave Kawhi this like this money right now, what's happening right now, it would have been too obvious.
Indicating that the Clippers had granted any of those lavish requests. But the underlying message from the commissioner Adam Silver remains. He sees salary cap circumvention as a cardinal sin in the NBA, and if any relevant evidence of improper benefit surfaces in the future, the league will reopen the investigation.
Which is happening
Their
now.
Suspension for executives was openly discussed, as was the potential for a loss of draft picks or even the voiding of
Steve Ballmer isn't losing Clippers. They're not going to force Steve Ballmer to sell the team, man.
player contracts.
If
So it
anything,
sounds
Steve
like
Ballmer can
Adam
buy the
Silver
NBA.
has a decision to make. Is he going to come down hard on the Clips and Kawhi, or is he going to be the soft player commissioner that people say?
I'm saying somebody's going to take the fall. I don't know. Steve Ballmer isn't going to take the fall. Some random Clippers employee, someone's going to take the fall. It's not going to be Steve
Unlike
Ballmer.
David Stern. Well, salary cap circumvention is actually really tough to prove. In fact, the Clippers and Ballmer say this is all false and they can prove it. But this next part is going to be really hard for them to explain. If there was ever a smoking gun in this scandal, this is it. In Kawhi's contract with Aspiration, it basically says that he doesn't have to endorse them at all if it conflicts with his beliefs, whatever that means. So Kawhi really calls the shots here, except for one thing. His $28 million contract
48.
will be voided if he
28
does
million
this
cash and
one
20 in
thing.
stock.
If Leonard is no longer an employee of the team for any reason, is a member of another NBA organization, or has retired, either of those instances shall qualify as a triggering event for the termination by the company. So basically, we will pay you $28 million if you play for the Clippers. How much more obvious can this get? But this is just Aspiration, some company, not Steve Ballmer. Except that Steve Ballmer
50 million.
did huge big money deals with Aspiration, including investments.
They gave him 50 million.
An arena deal with Intuit Dome, but Ballmer personally invested $50 million through his LLC. And 7 former employees told Pablo Torre Ballmer's investment is what allowed Aspiration to pay Kawhi the $28 million. Wow. So it really looks like Steve Ballmer paid Kawhi a huge bonus through a company in secret to try to get around the salary cap. But what did Kawhi do for him in return? Well, it turns out that $28 million was...
He planted trees. He planted trees. No, but I was joking. This is not for Aspiration. This is for Giants of Africa.
Steve Ballmer just went on ESPN to try to defend himself. So did the Clips pay Kawhi through a company called Aspiration to get around the salary cap? Because if they did, it could ruin the Clippers. Draft picks docked, Kawhi forced to leave. One reporter even says Steve Ballmer could be forced to sell the team. Well, now the story just got a whole lot worse. Because Pablo found out Kawhi got $28 million in cash for doing nothing. But now, an outlet called Boston Sports Journal says, according to a high-level source, Leonard also cut a side deal to receive $20 million in company stock that brought the total of promised compensation to Leonard to $48 million, almost the exact amount with Steve Ballmer's $50 million. So dude pays Aspiration $50 million.
$2 million to Uncle Dennis or $2 million to Aspiration for doing this deal to give Kawhi
they send it
the
to
middleman,
Kawhi.
being the middleman,
Obvious.
basically.
But unfortunately, there is one little detail that could save Kawhi and the Clips from any punishment. But I am watching. Be clear, the Clippers obviously went around the salary cap and broke rules, should be punished, but there is a good chance they get away. Why? Well, in my last video, I said that the CBA changed the rules on salary cap circumvention, but I want to amend that. Turns out Article 8, Section 1 covers general prohibitions. Punishment is 1 draft pick. But I didn't see Section 2, unauthorized agreements. There it says the NBA can take away all the picks, so this is serious. But still, what can the NBA prove? Well, Pablo found Kawhi got $28 million in cash to endorse Aspiration unless it conflicts with his beliefs, whatever that means. So he didn't take a single photo, shoot a commercial, nothing. But the one thing they did care about was him playing for the Clippers. A clause gave Aspiration the right to terminate the contract if Leonard is no longer an employee of the Clippers for any reason. Also, an ex-employee said, even when they were going bankrupt, priority...
Their priority was to give Kawhi the money first.
Number one was sending Kawhi his check. Guilty! But what about the timeline? People said, oh, this is why Kawhi chose the Clippers over the Lakers and the Raptors. But actually, Kawhi signed in 2019. The Aspiration deal happened in 2021. But Ballmer ain't that dumb. There were stories about Uncle Dennis looking for sketchy deals. So the Clippers would have been stupid to do this in 2019.
You know what's crazy? The Clippers were scouting Kawhi while he was not scouting. They had team officials go to Raptors game to watch Kawhi while he's still with the Raptors, which is pretty weird.
They had to smartly wait until the heat died down, so the timeline actually makes sense. In August 2021, Ballmer wires Aspiration $50 million. Then, the Clippers and Aspiration announce a $300 million partnership.
Kawhi signs
Just
extension.
a month later, Kawhi suspiciously signs a 4-year team-friendly contract. How convenient. And we all know this because Aspiration then went bankrupt and all the details came out. But while everyone is digging the Clippers' grave, former Mavericks owner Mark Cuban.
Oh, I saw this on Twitter. Mark Cuban was defending Steve Ballmer on Twitter.
On Team Ballmer. Steve isn't that dumb. If he did try to feed Kawhi money, knowing what was at stake for him personally and his team, do you think he'd let the company go bankrupt, knowing all creditors would be visible to the world?
Bro, on ESPN today, Steve Ballmer was like on TV, oh, I'm just some goofy idiot. I don't know anything.
Yeah, Mark, he would, because the paper trail unfortunately proves nothing. And look, I hate to say this, because obviously the Clippers broke the rules, but Ballmer's chilling. I mean, do you think that he's going to bail out a scam company for hundreds of millions of dollars? Maybe if he thought that this could take him down, but he knows it won't. First of all, it is common for a player to be sponsored by the same company who sponsors his team. For example, LeBron's got a deal with Crypto.com, who sponsors the Lakers arena. Steph works with Chase, the Dubs arena sponsor. Giannis and Beam.
Well, they actually do stuff. I've seen them I've seen sponsors with these things. Kawhi did nothing.
Anthony Edwards and Aura. Even in football with Patrick Mahomes. So Kawhi being sponsored by Aspiration proves nothing. Oh, it is shady, but that's it. And all Kawhi had to do to cover his tracks was
one commercial. But even he couldn't do that. This man does nothing, gets paid.
Take a couple photos,
this guy's
make
living
a
a dream.
But for some reason, he did nothing. Stupid. But you cannot punish someone for being stupid. In fact, The Athletic pushed Pablo Torre on this. They said, Pablo, great report. But what is the...
It's crazy. Ramona was the one that interviewed Steve Ballmer today. It should have been Pablo, the one who did all the research for the past 7 months, to interview him. That would have pressed him, but ESPN would not do that because ESPN is on Steve Ballmer's payroll.
Literally,
in my opinion,
the fact that we had 7 sources, including one on tape, saying we were told it was to circumvent the salary cap. What we do not have is Steve Ballmer putting into an email, this was to circumvent the salary cap, period, send. I would say that would be shocking.
Yeah, that would be so
Yeah,
dumb.
that ain't
Who would
happening.
ever do that? I mean, you'd be crazy to expect to find that in writing. But actually, the comp everybody makes here is the Joe Smith Timberwolves scandal, where the Timberwolves got wrecked by the league. But they were stupid enough to put their whole scheme in writing. The NBA investigator found a secret written agreement between the Wolves and Joe Smith. It's
DeAndre Jordan 2015. This isn't the first time this happened with Steve Ballmer. Happened in the past as well. This isn't his first rodeo.
cheap deals between 99 and 01 to preserve cap space. So yeah, it would be shocking if Steve Ballmer wrote this in an email like Joe Smith, but he didn't. And dude learned this a long time ago. In 2015, Ballmer put it in writing that they would hook up DeAndre Jordan with a Lexus deal to pay him $200K per year on the side. Well, the NBA found that and docked him $250,000. So from that day on, do you think Ballmer is gonna put Kawhi's deal in writing?
Nope.
No. And that's why the NBA was able to come down that hard on the Timberwolves back in the day. Unfortunately, all we have here is an ex-employee saying this.
We also have a deal with Kawhi Leonard. If I had any questions,
how much proof do you need? Basically, I don't like unless you get it in writing. Like, how can you even, bro? If he gets away with this, I'm gonna be so mad. Like, what, bro? Every other team, okay. Teams are supposed to play by the rules. Man, oh,
It's about it. Don't because it was
if Clippers get away with
to
this, man,
circumvent the salary
just because
cap.
they don't have
LOL.
actual proof. Why would Aspiration pay Kawhi $48 million for no reason? If Steve Ballmer was not aware.
LOL when things were shared.
Yeah, that's bad. Obviously, the Clippers did this. I'm not saying they didn't, but you can't prove anything based on that.
Bro, what? Bro, what?
All this proves is that Aspiration was run by stupid, scammy people who decided to pay Kawhi a
How's that not enough proof?
shady deal. And we already knew that. They're a bunch of scammers. And that's exactly what
Bro, that's the story they're running with. That Steve Ballmer and Clippers are running
Steve
with.
Ballmer just told ESPN to defend himself.
I don't know why they did what.
Bro, I don't know why they gave Ramona this interview. They might as well just gave Kendrick Perkins the interview, man.
They did. And frankly, any speculation would be crazy. These were guys who committed fraud. How would I be able? Look, they conned me.
I don't know anything.
I have no ability to predict why they might have done anything they did.
Yep, the same Mark Cuban theory. It's what he's going to tell the NBA when they ask. And as long as
Well, Mark Cuban's not innocent either. Dirk took so much pay cuts to stay with the Mavs. I think he's innocent either. Dirk, right after, he had a whole documentary. No, I'm not
they can't prove it like they did with Joe.
I think Jalen Brunson won. I think Jalen Brunson, with his whole family, working for Knicks. Leon Rose, his dad. I think that's shady as well. James Harden is
Smith
pretty shady
in
as
writing,
well.
it's his word
Philly.
against Pablo's. I mean, yeah, it's weird that they gave Kawhi all that money to do nothing, but I don't control what they do. Plus, those guys are scammers. Who knows why they did anything? Oh, but what happens if Adam Silver is like, yeah, I don't care what we can prove. Obviously, you broke the rules. We are coming down hard. Well, Steve Ballmer
is so rich.
is worth
If anything, he's gonna buy the NBA.
$150 billion.
Yeah, man.
And he
Bro,
will
maybe
sue them. And
he's
do you
gonna buy
think
the
the
NBA, man.
29 owners want their business then to all come out in open court? Pablo already said he is getting tips about Jalen Brunson's deal
Bro, what did you say, man? Jalen Brunson, James Harden.
in New York. Brunson signed maybe the most team-friendly deal of all time. Dude left potentially $113 million on the table to help the Knicks. Why? Was a shady deal agreed upon there too? What other deals are out there that we don't know about? So as much as I hate to say this, even though it is so obvious that the Clippers were scamming the NBA, unless they can prove it like they did with Joe Smith, I don't think LA gets anything like a serious punishment. And I want to be clear because I know I'm going to get a lot of hate in the comments. Yes, obviously, the Clippers did the wrong thing. They broke the rules. They should be punished. But you can't prove anything. Even
It's so crazy. The Celtics blew up their entire team for this because they didn't want to. They're way over second apron.
Pablo said it himself. The most they
Yeah,
have
Clippers
is
are
that
gonna get
an
away with it.
ex-anonymous employee said they were circumventing the salary cap, LOL, okay? And that Aspiration and Steve Ballmer were in business together.
Bro, Ian
Again,
Luke's
like,
so good,
it's
man.
shady,
Just check-
it's obvious.
Their videos
it
are always
doesn't
so
prove
good.
anything. Maybe they get a little fine, and maybe there's a new rule that players can't be sponsored by a company that also sponsors their team, but the death penalty, not gonna happen. But we do know that
Bro, if this is not enough proof, then I don't even know what is, unless you get in writing.